chosen a plethora of the dies that are going to be available. Not all of them, there's going to be many more dies than this, but I thought I'd just choose some of my favourites here just to whet your appetite for this fantastic upcoming show. Now it's the embossing and journaling show, and with it being a journaling show, it would not be a journaling show without these fantastic dies here. Now these are the Scoreboard Dies by Eileen Hull. Now these are such impressive dies because these are going to create something that you can put a journal inside. This is a journal cover. You know, it's not just one journal cover. These are big dies. We can cut many, as many as you want from thick materials. Now these are big dies, so they're going to cut thicker materials like leather. We've got felt, we've got material. Just have a look at these two projects that I've brought along with me that we've made. Do you know what? I'm going to switch these around because this one we have those lovely kind of sectioned edges there, which I can show you here. And then over here, we've got this nice wraparound journal, and just look at that. Now this is such a fantastic die because you can keep creating lots and lots of different journal covers. So that is amazing. Now, let's have a look at our embossing folders, okay? So we have, these are our Sizzix 3D embossing folders. Now the 3D embossing folder technology is amazing. The emboss that you get with these folders is perfect every time. We have Blossom here. Now just imagine this. You can see the image on the front cover there. We've used it with some metallic cardstock there. Metallic cardstock, always a great one for embossing, or on a matte cardstock, and we could use some of our effects range with it to just bring out those lovely embossed risen parts. So this one here is called Organic Petals. Look at all the details in here. We've got even the little veins in the leaves. It's just so impressive, and these all come out in the emboss. You will be so impressed when you see what Anne does with these embossing folders on the show. And over here we have Pinwheel. So we've got this nice pattern repeat. It's just a really lovely embossing folder. And it wouldn't be a show without some alphabet dies. Now these are great for, you know, making sentiments on the front of cards. These are perfectly sized as well. What I've found using these dies is that they are really well sized, so they take up a nice amount of space on your makes no matter what they are, but they don't take up too much. They're not too bulky. They're really lovely, simplistic and elegant letter shapes here. Now onto some of our more detailed dies here. Over here, this one is called Floral Crescent Moon. Now you get this moon outline shape. Now what's not pictured on the front, on the packaging art there, is that this space that is in the middle of the outline of the moon is also a die cut piece that you can use. So that's just an extra die that's not even pictured on here. We have this lovely floral scene that you can build up, and it's all layered so you can create shadow with it. What a great die set. Now over here, Mr. Tim Holtz. You know it's going to be a good die set when we've got that Tim Holtz name there. This is the Perspective Butterfly. Now this is a great one because it's a really big, really detailed die that you can use elements of. You can use the whole thing. You know, it's a great one for just showing sections of. It's fantastic for inking. It's amazing for using with our opulent cardstock as well. Now the possibilities are endless with this fantastic Perspective Butterfly. Over here, another Tim Holtz one. Now this is the bubbling die set. You have all these really organic, natural, circular shapes here. So you can either use the die cut pieces, or you can use it as it's intended as a mask die. Now it's fantastic. It creates so much detail, but they're really lifelike, these bubbles as well. So I can think of so many cool cards and home decor makes that you could create with this. On top of that, we have, this is Floral Layers number 2. Now, as with the Crescent Moon die over there, you build this up, you can create shadow. You can just see on this die packaging image there that we've got these kind of extra layers on the top. So I can see 1, 2, 3 layers there. So you can choose to use all of the layers, or you can just choose to keep it simple. We have the embossed areas on each die cut piece so that you know where to layer the next element, so you can't go wrong. But it's like a paint by numbers. Once you put this die set together, it's something that you can be really proud of. Now let's move on to the Floral Lattice. Now, this is another mask die. What I love about a mask die is that you cut it out, you put it on a card, and that card is almost done for you. You could leave it as it is. Again, we've got the 2 layers here, so you can choose just to use that more simplistic layer underneath, or you can add that more, the layer with the finer detail on top there to create that shadow, the dimension. It's a really lovely die here. So last but not, do you know what I haven't shown yet are our stamps. Now I'm going to show you these stamps with this image of the stamps in use. Now look at the crisp stamp you get on here. These are the, if I can find, this is the New Beginnings stamp set. So it comes with a lot of phrases that we use all the time, or all year round when we are stamping, creating sentiments. We've got thank you, happy day, celebrate. So these are all really positive sentiments that I think the world needs right now, and they should be on every single one of your makes. What a great stamp set over here. So what I would like to do now is just show you some examples of projects that we've made using these die. I'm going to start with this now. These are also, so not all of these, but I can tell you that the honeycomb embossing folder here does come on the show. But the rest of these, we've just made this to show you the capabilities when using our 3D embossing folders. Just look at how well this is embossed. And this is with some of our opulent cardstock. I believe these are from the Mystical range, but any of our opulent cardstock is going to be absolutely fantastic, and our normal cardstock is really, really great as well. So here's another make that we've used using organic petals here. I'll just bring this around this way. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is a great one to use with some of our coloured cardstock, and then just apply some of our luster wax on top, and look at that effect when the luster wax picks up all those details in those floral elements. Okay, this is Paisley. This is another embossing folder that is on the show. I love this pattern. It really reminds me of some of my dad's ties from the early 90s, which I'm going to be getting those out soon and seeing whether they come back into fashion. But I love this Paisley pattern here, and I just love the crispness of the emboss there. Over here we have used the crescent moon, the floral crescent moon frame die, and we've used it to die cut an aperture from this raised bit on the front and then overlay those lovely floral elements. So it's just another way how you can use this die set, which just shows its versatility. Now that is absolutely great. Over here we've got a few of these cards where we've used the Floral Lattice, and you can just see how easy it is to create a card when you've got this die set. Because that's it, the die set is the card. You've die cut that, you've layered it up, and it looks fantastic on its own. Just add a sentiment and the work is done for you. How great are they? Now here we are using the Floral Layers number 2. Now this is a fantastic card here. Now we've stamped a script stamp behind, and that's it. It's just on some brown craft card, and we've applied all those layering techniques that you can use. So we've stuck to the colours pretty much that are on the packaging for this, and it looks fantastic. All of our cardstock is designed to thematically go together, so all of the colours are going to work together in the Colour Story cardstock. This is an embossing folder. This is Doodle Triangles. That is also going to be on the show. And here we've inked, and then we have applied that embossing folder, and just look at that crisp emboss there. Each of these triangles has got lovely patterns on it. It gives a kind of really cool early 90s vibe. And also we have that bold alphabet on the top here. So just look how we're pulling together all these die sets. The selection of dies on here, they're all designed to go together. So if you purchase them, or you'd have a big range of dies that you can use together. So that means that you've got millions of different project possibilities. And finally, here's another make we've used using that floral crescent moon die. So this is using some of the opulence along with some of our festive colours just to create that lovely scene. And here we have this fantastic stamp there that we've used with some of the foils from our effects range. So that's about it from me. I hope you are as excited for this show as I am. I can't wait to see what Anne comes up with projects wise, and do you know what? I will see you then. Remember that it is on channel 95 if you are on Freeview, but whichever provider you're with, go on the internet, go and have a look at the channel that you need to be tuning into for this fantastic Create and Craft show.